Vice President of Manufacturing for the Cabinet Works Group. And before I turn things over to the Governor and Secretary Siger, just a few remarks and thanking some folks who've come out today. So on behalf of myself, our 8,000 Cabinet Works employees across the country, I'd like to recognize Commissioner Jeff Thomas for coming out this morning, Commissioner Mark Sather, and other officials from both the township, the county, and the state of Pennsylvania. The support here has been wonderful. This facility is a huge transitional effort for us, supporting growth of Cabinet Works Group, and we're going to do some very exciting things here in Mount Union, but it's all about the support we've gotten at every level of government and at every level of community. I couldn't be happier with where we are 8 months into the project, and days like today make us very confident that for the next years, we're really going to grow and succeed. So thank you all for coming. I'm going to turn over now to Secretary Siger.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Well, good morning, everyone. I'm excited to join Governor Shapiro and the entire Cabinet Works team here in Mount Union. As Chad said, Cabinet Works has been steadily growing over the past several years and is a major employer here in Huntington County, as well as, importantly, in 3 other locations around Pennsylvania. You all have invested tens of millions of dollars into this facility and into this region, in the process creating hundreds of jobs. Growth here is fueling the livelihoods of hundreds of workers, people who are raising families here, shopping at local stores, eating at local restaurants, and boosting the local economy. There are countless families around the country as well, and around the world, as I understand it, that live in homes with Cabinet Works products made right here in Pennsylvania. You know, nearly 1 in 10 jobs in our Commonwealth is in the manufacturing sector. Generations of Pennsylvanians have worked in forges and assembly lines, in mills and in clean rooms, and machine shops and food processing lines. From traditional to cutting-edge innovation, our companies and workers make the products people rely on. As a whole doesn't exist in a vacuum. Under the governor's leadership, Pennsylvania is aggressively competing with other states and other countries to keep growing companies here and attract businesses looking to set up shop here in our Commonwealth. To succeed, we have to create growth-focused policies, we have to break down bureaucratic barriers, and move at the speed of business to ensure job-creating projects like this happen right here. And we have to invest in areas that will help us attract and retain businesses. For example, the Pennsylvania First program is the most important tool we have to help us win competitive business projects. When working with Cabinet Works last year, as the company was looking at expansion options, my team inside DCED utilized the Pennsylvania First program, including workforce training dollars, to help incentivize this expansion and ensure it happened right here in Mount Union. These kinds of fiscally responsible but aggressive incentives are true investments in a business and a community. And that's why I'm so pleased that the governor has proposed an increase of $12 million in his budget for this program this year. These dollars will give our Commonwealth some of the critical tools and incentives we need to win more projects just like this one here in Huntington County and across the state. The entire Shapiro administration is committed to making Pennsylvania as competitive as possible, because we know that when new businesses relocate here or existing businesses expand here, that means more jobs for our workers, and it means sustainable, long-term economic growth for our communities, the kind you see happening right here at Cabinet Works in Mount Union. I want to thank you all very much for hosting us here today and for your continued commitment to growth in this part of Pennsylvania. Working hand in hand with the private sector, we're sending a clear signal that Pennsylvania is open for business. And now it's my great pleasure to introduce the plant manager and our extremely able tour guide, Mike Wellen. Mike, please.
Thank you, Secretary, for everyone taking time out of your busy schedules to come here. We take a lot of pride in what's happening here in the Cabinet Works factory here in Mount Union, Pennsylvania. And we hope you were able to see the enthusiasm and the positive attributes of the team that we're building here under one foundation for Cabinet Works. So we're very excited to welcome the visitors and welcome the governor, and thank you. So without delay, I'd like to introduce Governor Josh Shapiro. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Mike, thank you very much for the introduction. Chad, thank you for your leadership. And most importantly, I think you'd agree with me, thank you to all of the Cabinet Works employees who are here. Your cabinets are beautiful, and I know they're well made if they're stamped by number 42 over there. It was cool for me to have the opportunity to see the assembly line, to see the pride you take in your work. And I thought what was really interesting and the sign of a strong company is in that gathering space you have where you gather in the mornings. I'm forgetting what that's called. It did have, obviously, how many cabinets you build, how many hours work, that kind of stuff. But most importantly, all the way on the right, it had the feedback from you, the employees, that is acted upon by management to try and make sure that the process is even better and even safer every day. You, the employees, are the ones that are driving this process, and it's exciting for me to be here with all of you, and I'm excited to be in a position where hopefully we can come back in a year or so and see even more Cabinet Works employees, because that is what's happening here at this great company. You have bet on the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. You've bet on the good people of this Commonwealth, and we are betting on you. That's why Secretary of Pennsylvania's 48th governor, less than 3 months ago, one of the first actions I took was to make clear that the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania is again open for business. So I wanted to come here to Huntington County, back to this community, now as your governor, in my first 100 days in office, to see firsthand the growth and the progress and the investment from Cabinet Works, the investment that you're making that is going to, I think, have a reverberation, a positive one, all across the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Last year, as you heard Secretary Siger mention, with the help of a state investment, Cabinet Works agreed to invest $23 million here to upgrade their component plant in Mount Union and to make sure that they are making advanced manufacturing and assembly facility here in the Commonwealth that is going to be second to none. As part of this investment, they're committed to creating 327 new jobs here in Huntington County. I know your county commissioners are going to be thrilled about that. And let me just say, for a county like Huntington County, this has the potential to be a real game changer. This has the potential to drive real change and growth and positive effects in this rural community. I think it's also important to note that Cabinet Works is bringing really good jobs to this community. Not just 327 of them, but really good jobs. Jobs that are starting at a pay rate of 17 to 18 bucks an hour. I would point out for the record, that's a full $10 more per hour than our state minimum wage, which is totally unacceptable and why I'm trying to Works are. When it comes to economic development, it's important to me that we don't leave any community behind. That's another reason why I'm happy to see the investment right here in Huntington County. I think a key to our future success in Pennsylvania is by making sure rural communities like this see investment from their state government, see the promise of a company like Cabinet Works and say, you know what, we can build that here too. So it's my hope, and I said this to some of your leaders, the Cabinet Works does great. And that we not only add 327 jobs, we add more on top of that in the future, but you spur on growth in other manufacturing sectors because they see that it can be done here. Not just the ability to build a big facility like this, but where they know they've got talented people like all of you who are prepared to do this manufacturing work of tomorrow. This is where we need to invest. And I believe Pennsylvania has an opportunity to be a great economic leader in the nation, where we can bring back manufacturing, it back from China and do it here in this Commonwealth. But I also recognize for too long, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania's government has been a barrier to progress. Maybe not in this case of Cabinet Works, but in general. We need to do better as a Commonwealth, and that's why my administration is bringing new leadership in to meet this moment. People like Acting Secretary Seiger, who every single day talks about making government work at the speed of business. We can do that. We have declared that Pennsylvania barriers of economic progress here in Pennsylvania. Those who know me, no matter what your party is or what type of community you come from, hopefully can all agree that they know I am competitive as hell, and I want to win, and I want Pennsylvania to be the first at everything. And this is an example of how we are winning, of how we are setting new standards right here at Cabinet Works. And I'm pleased that the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania is investing in a place like this. I am proud of the partnership that we have with Cabinet Works, and I'll be proud to watch you grow and expand. But I think it's also important to note that if we want to see this type of expansion and growth all across Pennsylvania, we have to invest in it. And we have to believe in that this type of investment is going to matter in our future. I certainly do. As part of their expansion, Cabinet Works received nearly $1 million from the Pennsylvania First program and received over $600,000 in workforce development grants to give their workers the skills they need to manufacture high-quality products. Why do I mention those two grants? Because that's available to companies all across Pennsylvania. I want to invest $12 million more in the Pennsylvania First program and nearly $24 million more in VOTEC, apprenticeships, and bringing career and technical education back into our classrooms in Pennsylvania. You know, way back when Tom Ridge was governor, more than 20 years ago, we invested twice the amount of resources in VOTEC as we did last year. That has to change, and it will change on my watch. Because I recognize that if we go and meet with our 9th and 10th and 11th and 12th graders, and teach them how to be welders and carpenters and plumbers, that creates a pipeline of jobs that Cabinet Works can take advantage of. I know I'm getting the hook here. I'll try and wrap it up. We need to invest in that type of skills-based education in high school to be more competitive. You see, there's a direct connection between preparing those students of today for jobs of tomorrow like the ones you are doing right now. That's why we are making those investments. And I want you to know that in addition to the dollars, in addition to the new policies, importantly, I want you to know I believe in you, and I believe in what you're trying to do here. And I'm inviting lawmakers of both parties to believe in you as well, to pass my budget and to put us in a position where we can be key to that progress. When we invest in our workers, when we invest in our main streets, when we invest in that VOTEC in our classrooms, we are going to see real opportunity for our future. And that is what we are trying to build. I think our communities deserve that investment, and I believe for us to be competitive with other states, we must make that investment. So I want to thank lawmakers of both parties who I know care about economic development as I do. I believe we have a representative from Senator Ward's office here. I want to thank our federal representatives for sending resources our way to do this work, and I know we have representatives from Senator Fetterman and Senator Casey's office. I want to thank our county commissioners for being on the ground here, making sure they cut through the red tape to get things like this done. And I want to thank, most importantly, all of you, the Cabinet Works employees who are here doing this work, making sure people have beautiful cabinets in their homes, places where families are going to congregate in the kitchen, where they're going to talk about their days, where they're going to enjoy delicious food, and where they're going to know that the cabinets they're relying on for all of that, the foundation of their kitchen, which is really the foundation of a home, are made by Pennsylvania hands right here in Huntington County in a place that was bet on and invest to come back when this expansion is done. And I want to come back and hopefully see number 42 again and see even more cabinets going out on the product line. Thank you all very much. And with that, Mike has agreed to answer any tough questions from the media. So fire away. No questions? Mike, you're about to get off the hook here. Anything for Chad? No? Hey, you guys got lucky today. How about that?
They'll catch us after.
Sounds good. You guys are good? Okay. Thank you all very much.